Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is a video that is the first of its kind here on the channel because there are so many details in my 1990 newscast. I thought it would be fun for us to watch the video together, and I would point out some of the details and Easter eggs that you may have missed when watching the video, and also share some behind the scenes stuff that went into producing this project. So I worked on this video for about 7 weeks, and although I had a rough time frame of when I wanted to have this video out, I never set a date because I didn't want to rush through this project like I have with other videos. Because looking back through those videos, I see things that I would have done differently or wouldn't have done at all, or that I would have changed because I rushed to have it done on time. And so because I didn't have to rush through this video, I was really able to put all of my focus and attention into this project. And that's why there are so many details that I added into this video, because I had the time to do it. So if you've not watched the original video already, please go watch that first. I've put the link to that in my description. See what you can notice on your own before watching this with me. If you've already watched the video, you may consider watching it a second time just to see if there are things that you did not notice when watching it the first time. It's kind of like watching your favorite movie. You watch it over and over again, and then you start to notice things that you didn't notice before. Many of you left a comment on the original video noticing some of the things that I was hoping you would notice, but there's a few things that you guys did not notice when watching the original video. And so that's kind of what's inspired me to watch this video with you and point some of those things out. So I had a lot of requests to play my video and its real life inspiration side by side so that you guys could compare the two. While a lot of inspiration came from the real life newscast, and there were moments that looked very similar to it, the video was not a shot-for-shot remake, and so I would not be able to play them side by side because the timing would be off. It doesn't match up. So that's why I posted the side-by-side stills from my video and the real video on my YouTube community tab and my Instagram story, so that you guys could see the moments that were heavily inspired by the real life video, but I'm not able to play them side by side because it just wouldn't match up. So before we get to watching this, I just want to take a moment and thank you guys for the love and support and the response to this video. It has been insane. This video is the best organically performing video on the channel ever. As I record this, the video has over 10,000 views, which is absolutely crazy for the channel. So many people in the comments saying that it showed up in their recommendations on the YouTube algorithm, which is very rare for the channel, so that was awesome. I was really nervous about what the response to the video was going to be, because I will be honest, I have not made nearly as much content this year as I wanted to, and so I was afraid that having not made much content this year, after putting all this time and effort and energy into the video, if the response was going to meet the workload that was involved. And not only did it meet it, but it far exceeded my expectations by 100%, 10,000%. I couldn't believe it. So I just want to take a moment and thank you all for the love and support and the response to this video. It has been truly amazing. Thank you. So on that note, in true fashion of the channel, I have my headphones from a Walkman here, and I think it's time for us to watch the video.
Next on Channel 11
So,
News,
starting off right away,
he's known
that
as
guy
the Bowling
right
Bandit.
between the two
And tonight,
anchors
police say
is
a
Patrick
suspect
O'Connell,
has been arrested.
and
We'll have a
he
live
is the
crime watch
reporter
report.
that's going to do the live
Police
shot
in
from the
Fort
newsroom
Lauderdale
on the
need
Bowling
your
Bandit
help
story.
locating a
And
credit
so I
union
put him there
robbery
because
suspect
it makes it
with
look
a
like he's
peculiar
getting
description.
ready for his live shot in the background.
Power was restored to a crime-ridden Berkeley neighborhood
This
after officials shut it
B-roll
off over
of
weekend
the
in an
electric
attempt
company
to
came from an
civilize
actual
residents.
newscast, obviously, because
It's
it's
one of the
old video.
largest drug busts so far this year. Police seizing nearly 350 pounds of cocaine from this former hotel. I'm Daniel Bishop in Vista Gardens. A young woman took
This
a
is my
late night
favorite
walk
line
to
of the
this
whole video.
convenience store. What she met was a crackhead. I'll have a live report. These stories and more.
Yep, there's
next
Patrick
on
O'Connell in the
Channel 11
background.
News at 11.
Because he's about 60 seconds away from his live shot. The GMC truck logo turned out a lot darker in this than I wanted it to.
When you see news happen, call the Channel 11 News line, 1-800-555-WSCN.
That is one of my actual phones.
Anywhere
I
on the
propped it
South
up in
Coast,
front of the green screen, took a picture, removed it, and made a graphic out of it.
You're watching the South Coast News Station, WSCN 11. Now, Caroline Murphy. Brent Fisher.
So thrilled with how the
Crime
Open
Watch
turned
with
out.
Patrick O'Connell.
Honestly.
Meteorologist Bob Knowles. And sports with Jesse Pace. This is Channel 11 News at 11. Parkview police bowl over crime tonight.
That is Halloween makeup because luckily it was Halloween time, so I was able to go to the store
for weeks. Residents
and get
unsure
Halloween
if they would
makeup.
Be spared from his vicious attacks.
And the thing that was over my nose was like a makeup remover thing, and I put tape over it to make it look like gauze.
Won't be able to strike anyone anymore. Police arrested a man
Love that
after
head
he
turn.
was identified
That turned
by
out
the
so
bandit's
well.
latest victim, a man that was actually
Sometimes
struck
that's
in
hard
the face
because
by a bowling ball in the attack.
It's
Channel 11's Patrick
two different
O'Connell
clips,
joins us
and
live now
sometimes
from the Channel 11 newsroom with our
it doesn't
first
match
crime
up
watch of the
correctly.
night. Patrick? Yeah, Caroline, we have some pretty
Okay,
late
so
developments.
pause for a moment. That's who I was talking about in the tease and at the beginning of the newscast, sitting in between the two anchors, was Patrick O'Connell, because he's getting ready. And then in the background, when Caroline is talking, you see this reporter in the newsroom in the red blazer. And then there she is sitting behind Patrick. So I kind of layered these people so that it matched, no matter, if it was this shot in the newsroom or if it was the shot from the anchors.
In a story that we've been following for a couple of weeks.
You have the guy
the
walking
bowling
in front of the
bandit.
monitors.
We have some video for you from our recent reporting over the last 2 weeks. This bowling bandit allegedly using a bowling ball to strike his victims in the face, in the head, in the stomach, and in at least one instance, the crotch. While I was walking home, this guy comes around the corner, mistakes my head as a bowling pin, bam, hits me right in the face, right in the eye, blood from my nose everywhere. I pass out on the ground, and then I wake up later to a dog licking my face. As you mentioned, Caroline, Parkview police
I think
have
for
a man
never
in custody
having
believed to
done,
be the bowling bandit. He's been identified by
makeup
one of his
like that
victims.
in the past.
Police
Costume
identified that
makeup,
suspect as Willie Reston.
that looked pretty good
Again,
for a black
Parkview
eye.
Police Department believing they have the bowling bandit in custody tonight. He has been arrested, we should add, but not yet charged. Live in the newsroom, Patrick O'Connell, Channel 11 News.
See, there she is in the red blazer back there.
Development in this bowling bandit story that's left a community terrified for weeks. A lot of questions still remain. We hope to learn more as the hour progresses. It's a busy night for police in Coastal Gables, where a robbery gone wrong has sent one to the hospital. Channel 11's Holly Michaels joins us live with our second Crime Watch report of the night. Holly? Hi, Caroline.
This was a moment that was
a full roster in our
heavily inspired by the real video. So that is a screenshot of the actual video. And then I use that as the green screen. But even Holly here looks a lot like the real reporter from its real life counterpart. I had a shirt that looked very similar color. That's a new wig that I bought just for this video, which looked very similar to the hair of the actual woman. So this, in terms of mirroring, pretty proud of that.
14 and City Line Road in Coastal Gables at this ground floor apartment of the complex
That's
behind
another
me.
thing.
We have some videotape
In this
just
video,
moments ago. Crime scene
talking about
investigators
detail,
will hear what they
I've
believe
never
happened
really done
was an attempted
much with
robbery
audio
gone
before.
wrong. A man
Background
entering this
audio,
apartment
sound effects.
to allegedly
So
rob
like
the
adding
occupants.
cars
One of the
driving by,
robbery
or the
victims
dog
then
barking
had
in the
a cat
background,
thrown
or you
at
hear
his
a
head,
plane
to
go
which he
over
is deathly
head, or a
allergic.
bus or a
He's been
semi go
airlifted to
by.
St. Vincent, where he remains
Like, just
in critical
adds to
condition.
the
Again, a
aesthetic
feral
and
outdoor
the
cat
accurate
was
feeling
thrown
of
at
the
his head.
story.
Police say no one else was injured in this feline frenzy. They describe the cat
I've
as
never thought about
orange
doing
and
that before
unkempt
until this video.
with patchy fur. They also tell us that they
Just
have no
little things in the
suspect
background
at
that
this
add to
time.
it.
Again, one person critically injured in an attempted robbery gone wrong here in Coastal Gables. That's our second crime watch of the evening. Caroline, back to you. Thank you, Holly. Brent? Coastal Gas and Electric Company was able to restore power to a Berkeley neighborhood this evening. The area had been without power since Saturday. The neighborhood, described by county officials
this is
as
real
a
video
crime-ridden
from
area, had its access to
one of
power
the
revoked
newscasts.
last weekend. Officials said if residents couldn't act like civilized people, they shouldn't have access to a civilized lifestyle.
Yeah, we were told by the county to shut the power off.
So that hat I found at an estate sale from a gas and electric company that used to be local. And then I found this footage in one of the newscasts that I was watching for inspiration for this video. And so it was just like one of those moments when things meet perfectly, because I'm like, cool, I have this new hard hat that I found, and then here's this clip, so that's what inspired this story.
And if residents responded positively and the crime rates dropped, that we could partially restore power to the neighborhood.
Officials with CG&E say the neighborhood will
And it also
regain
matches
access
the
to
yellow
power
hard
on a
hats that the
probationary
guys are
period.
actually wearing
It will
in
be
the
made available to
real
residents
footage,
from 7 to 11 a.m. and 3
which
to
is an
7
awfully
p.m.
great coincidence.
before power is fully restored in the coming weeks as crime rates permit. Well, tonight is the night, 10 days after city commissioners in South Beach voted to ban nude dancing at places where alcohol is served. The girls are, unfortunately, finally having to cover up.
So in the background, there's a guy standing in the monitor, and then you can't really tell, but just to his left is a person that's not me. It's a person from the photo that I used of the newsroom. And so it looks like he is talking to that guy. So what I did with the newsroom background, and it might be easier to see when it's a two shot and you can see the whole newsroom. But I took an actual photo of the newsroom, and then each row of desks I cut out in Photoshop. So that way I could layer each row of desks and then layer myself as newsroom employees in between those layers, so that it looked like this person was sitting behind this row and this person was sitting behind this row and this person was sitting behind this row. But then there's also other people in the still image of the actual newsroom that are in there. So it just added some cool depth to it, and I've never really done anything like that before, messed with that depth perception. So the newsroom background turned out awesome. So much better than I expected it to.
Channel 11's Amy Hoffman is standing by live for us in front of Showgirls Nude Club, where business is no longer as usual. Amy? Brent, we're here in front of Showgirls.
This is
at the
another
corner
story
of 12th and Ocean
inspired
View
by
on
the
South
actual
Beach.
newscast.
And tonight's the night. Nude bars either need to stop serving
Love
alcohol
this part where the two
or
people
start
are walking
covering
by
up.
and they stop
The
to look at
girls
the
tonight
camera like
wearing pasties
people would
and
do if they were
G-strings.
out on the
And
street
what you'll
and
see
saw
is basically what you'll
a
get.
camera and a recorder.
Now, we are allowed to air these new outfits that the women inside are wearing. However,
And
we
then the
have
guy
decided
next to the door, this was kind of difficult to film. So I always put my green screen right here on this curtain rod. And so I had my back up against the wall and then my foot on the green screen to make it look like I was leaning against the wall of the strip club. And then I rolled up a piece of paper to make it look like a cigarette.
To spare you, the viewer,
And then
from the ungodly
smoke
and
that he's about to
disturbing
blow out
scenes in this building that no one
is
should ever
just
have to see.
smoke
The
on a
owner,
green
however,
screen
telling us that if it's
that I
tame
found
enough
online
for television, it probably
and just made it
isn't
super
going to be
small
good
to
for
make it
business.
look like it was
I
cigarette
don't
smoke.
understand why the city wants to risk its businesses not bringing in revenue unless they're going to come down here and...
This is always the look I do for kind of skeevy guys in some of my videos. Slick back hair, a funky looking dress shirt, unbuttoned up here, tie loose a little bit. That's always the look.
strip for us. I think I should be able to run my business how I see fit.
Now, he's not the only one that's upset. Some visitors from Europe and Canada that we spoke to say they don't agree with the decision. They don't see the big deal about mixing alcohol and nudity.
I think nude dancing and drinking go hand in hand. Kind of like baseball and drinking.
The women in Italy walk around to wear less into this.
Also another favorite line.
Businesses that continue to serve alcohol and offer nude dancing risk losing
Love this
their
right
business
here.
permit, their alcohol license, or both. While some agree with the
guy's got a
decision
real
in hopes
attitude when he
of
walks.
quieting down South Beach,
Love
others,
that.
as you can see, are not too thrilled. Live in South Beach, Amy Hoffman, Channel 11 News. Thanks, Amy. In addition to losing their license, as Amy mentioned, businesses could also face a fine for not following the new ordinance.
Okay, so like I was saying about the background. So you have the first row, there's the woman just to the left of Caroline. And then you've got the one guy behind Brent. His back is turned. He kind of blends into Brent in this shot. And then the next row, you have a few other people. And then there's one more row that you had a few other people. And then the background monitors, that was a project in and of itself, because I found an image of a TV from around that time, and then sized all the TVs appropriately, some bigger than others. And then on each TV, I put a clip that I already had. So the top left clip, the woman in the yellow blazer, there's an Easter egg. That's my AM Southland video. And then not the next one to the right, but the one to the right after that, there's a guy on a blue background. That's from my Stranger Things video. Then there's an Andrew Ball video in there, Andrew Ball Show video in there. There's another clip from Stranger Things. I'm trying to see what else is in there. There's the weather from later on. There's just a few B-roll shots that I put on a loop from actual newscasts. There's some images of the Miami skyline. So not only did I put those clips and pictures and videos and whatever on the TV, but then I also made this or applied this effect to them that distorts the image so it gives it kind of a rounded look like a TV at that time would have had. So that was a big project in and of itself, just to do that. And then that is, again, layered behind that last row of computers in the newsroom.
Next at 11, confusion over an address leads to a building accidentally being demolished in Bradford. Plus, crackhead sightings are on the rise. Channel 11's Daniel Bishop is standing by live in Vista Gardens with one woman's story. And a local business closes its doors with no warning.
So some of these graphics were inspired by the actual newscast. Where those red boxes, for lack of a better term, came from, I used those first in that tease at the beginning of the video. And that came from the look of the graphics and the actual newscast. But then I wanted, obviously, consistency of the graphics. And so the rest of the video I did after that tease. The tease was really the first main part of the newscast that I put together. And so that's why those red boxes made an appearance in other places throughout the video. But I was so pleased with like the consistency of the look of the graphics, like it was an actual graphics package.
Reaction from the customers next on Channel 11 News at 11.
This is a machine designed to make travel easier.
This part was difficult to make it look like the three women walking.
Responsive, reliable.
It's very difficult to look like you're walking when you're staying in place without actually walking.
Men and women of American Airlines, dedicated professionals, committed
Like
to
the layering
personal
of that
service.
though. And this one too.
After flight,
And that,
after flight.
the blurring. Loved how that part turned out. I have people ask me all the time, Joan, where does your beauty come from? Your stunning look, your glowing skin. I tell them, oh, it's just my natural look. That's a joke in and of itself. I was hoping people would have picked up on that, right? Because I'm playing a woman and, oh, where does your beauty? You're just so beautiful. Where does your beauty come from? But I'm really a man. I thought that was funny. That's mostly true. With the help of CoverGirl's replenishing makeup. It's got special replenishers that really improve the look and feel of my skin. You can't keep skin from changing, but you can keep it looking its best. We all have natural beauty. We just have to help bring it out. I'm hoping this is something that you guys noticed. It didn't come out as noticeable, I guess, as I wanted it to, but I set up a fan because there's always that blowing hair look in those cosmetic commercials. And so I put a big fan right here, because I filmed this right there in front of the green screen, and that fan was blowing my hair. I was hoping that was something that you guys noticed, but nobody really commented about that, so I wanted to make sure I pointed that out.
Just getting out of bed.
This is actually a video I did in January of 2022. The reason I redid it for this video is because since then I found the actual Folgers canister that would have been used at this time. And the first one I did, I printed out a Folgers canister and put it around something else. So it added a little more authenticity to this with the actual can.
Another day yet to be won. The best part away.
So I refilmed all the shots, but they're very similar to the first video I did.
The AT&T Advantage.
This I don't like how it turned
What our
out,
customers expect from us.
but I wanted
For your
something that
personal or business
showed all the
demands,
different types of
AT&T
telephones I
is
have.
proud to offer the best in quality products for $19.90. To choose an option that fits your needs, visit an AT&T phone
And I wanted
center
to use
nearest
this
you
background song
or
because
call
it sounded very techy.
1-800-555-8600, whether it's telephones, long distance, business systems, or computers. AT&T, the right choice.
Especially that part.
When you join us tomorrow morning, we're touring the Washington Monument with none other than George Washington himself, as his ghost makes his yearly appearance here in the U.S. And he opens up about his centuries-old feud with John Quincy Adams tomorrow.
That might be the most underrated commercial of this whole video.
A local business closed its doors today without any warning to customers or employees. Gina, the Southside hooker, was not
This I
found
went
at her
and filmed in
usual
person.
street corner at Washington Boulevard and 75th Street this evening. Instead, a sign was posted on the street corner thanking customers
Hung up
for
the
their
sign.
many years of patronage.
Had to
The
take
sudden
video
closure
when
left
cars
some
weren't driving
customers
by
with an
'cause
appointment scrambling to find
Obviously, it
alternatives.
wouldn't have been time appropriate.
I couldn't believe it. I had an appointment scheduled at 4.
Okay, this is one of the only mistakes in this video that wasn't purposeful. All the other mistakes in this video they were purposeful. This one was not. So Richard Rogerson was also the name. I'm telling on myself here. Richard Rogerson was also the name of the bowling bandit victim at the beginning of the newscast. And The reason that I changed this is because this is named after somebody specific, and I didn't think that I had named a character after him, even though I already had named the bowling bandit victim after him. I changed this right before I finalized the video. And what makes me even more upset about this mistake is this character was named something else. So it would have been right if I hadn't touched it, but I touched it without double checking. And I didn't realize it until after the whole video was put together. And putting these retro effects on these videos can be a very time-consuming process, especially for this one, since this video was over a half-hour long, and it was already uploaded to YouTube before I noticed, and I thought, I'm just going to leave it. So it could be kind of funny, right? That maybe this is the same person as the bowling bandit victim. Who knows? Now we're getting into lore that we won't get involved in. But I thought, to be fair, I'll tattle on myself for this one.
Already paid for. Now what?
Some customers were able to make last-minute reservations with Jasmine at the 81st Street exit off I-75. She accepts various payment methods, including cash, check, charge, and Diners Club. However, it did create quite the headache for drivers on the evening commute. There is no word on whether someone will replace Gina at her usual street corner. Customers that had a prepaid deposit with Gina were told they would be receiving them back in 7 to 10 business days.
I think two things at this moment. I think that was the first story that I wrote for this video. That's one thing I was struggling with at the beginning of this production. I was making the commercials, but I was like, I really need to start working on the main part of this video, which is this newscast. I was having a hard time writing stories, and this was one that just came to me. Like, what if I do a business closing and at the beginning make it seem like it's a business and then throw this curveball in there that it's actually a hooker? The second thing I want you to notice at this clip is woman in the red blazer is getting up right now and she's moving, and just watch for a minute. Okay, she's walking away.
Dane County say crackhead sightings are becoming
bam, there she is,
frequent.
Coming over to talk to a coworker about something, and there she is talking to the coworker in the background. Nobody pointed that one out in the comments, so I thought I wanted to, because I thought, you know what, it would be cool to have a little movement in there. So have her get up, and then a few seconds later have her walk into the next frame talking to somebody else. Proud of that one, guys.
On a daily basis as the war on drugs rages on. Channel 11's Daniel Bishop is live for us in Vista Gardens, where one woman's late night walk turned into another all too common crackhead story. Daniel? Yeah, Brent,
this
Ashley took a
is actually filmed in person. All the other live shots or packages were filmed in front of a green screen. This was actually filmed in person. At the same time, I got the bank robbery B-roll, because there was a building that looked, and I think it was an old bank that is right next to this. And then I also got the picture for the background of the strip club story. But this one was actually filmed on location. My sister and her boyfriend came to help me film this in person.
a late night stroll Tuesday
so all the
to
noises
this convenience store on Herbert
and
Avenue
looks
in
and
Vista
lighting
Gardens.
and everything, that's
she
all
decided
authentic
around
to this.
11:45 she wanted a snack and a slushie.
Which
as she approached
think
the
just
convenience store, she was
adds
met face to face with
a
what's
lot
becoming
of
a Dude County native,
authenticity to
a
this.
crackhead.
Love how it turned out.
Lauren Ashley has lived in
Now
Vista
that's a green
Gardens
screen.
for 12 years.
I wasn't going to dress like that in
And in
public.
her time here, she's
Sorry.
noticed one thing in particular: more crackheads, including Tuesday night when she visited a Stop and Shop. So when I made it to the store, that's when they came around the corner
and started grinding on
That's
the
a shirt that I found at an estate
and
sale.
making snow angels in the
It's
parking
actually
lot.
really light pink
But
with
there
a
was no
gray
snow in the parking lot.
design to
Just
it.
white powder
Very
on the
time
mind.
period appropriate.
And there's more and more of it showing up in Dude County. According to Metro Dude Police, interactions
Also,
with
that was
crackheads
a
are up 32%.
line that was
compared
many
to
of
2
your
years
guys'
ago.
favorites was
And
the
of those
there was no
interactions,
snow in the parking lot,
instances that
just white
resulted
powder
in a
on the
funny
mind.
Crackhead story are up 17%.
I mean, everywhere you go, there's a crackhead. Crackhead at the convenience store, crackhead at the park. Even when you get off the interstate, there's a crackhead at the exit.
Ashley says this
Love
is not
that
her
little,
first experience with a crackhead.
delay,
Growing up, she was
as
quite
live
familiar
shots
with
are
her
known
uncle's
for.
crack habits. She says although this experience was funny,
Underrated
she knows
line,
not to
her
expect
uncle's
it
crack
from
habits.
every run-in with a crackhead.
Nobody said much about
and
that
neither
one.
should Dude County residents. Live in Vista Gardens, I'm Daniel Bishop, Channel 11 News.
Thank you, Daniel. Join us next week for Daniel's 5-part series on the life of a crackhead, where he'll follow the day-to-day activities of 5 Dude County crackheads. That will air next Monday through Friday on Channel 11 News at 6. Caroline? A building in Bradford was accidentally torn down after contractors confused the address. The building, located at 923 West Key Line Drive, was...
So, just a little background on this. Where the hotel drug bust story came from that's coming up was inspired by an old abandoned motel that I would drive by every day on my way to work. And I thought, okay, it would be cool to use that as a background because it was a motel from the 60s and there'd obviously be no cars in the parking lot and it looked like a drug bust kind of place. Well, I obviously knew I would need to film in person in the evening, and I didn't really want to do that. I kept putting it off. Well, when I was driving to work one day, they were tearing it down. And so that is what this footage is from, which I took. It's the hotel that I wanted to use
for gifted orphans.
for that story
The building at
being torn down.
925 West Key
But I had
Line
already
Drive
written the
was
hotel
building
story,
that was supposed to have
so
been
I
torn
had to come
down.
up with something
It has
different.
sat
But we'll
abandoned
talk
since
about
a
that
massive fire
when we
last
get to that
October
story.
caused by a
But
meth
that's where
lab.
this came from.
When asked where the facility for gifted orphans would relocate for the time being, the contractor said the abandoned meth lab was still available. Still to come, it's being described as one of the largest drug busts so far this year. Police seizing nearly
this story here.
350 pounds of cocaine from a former Broadlawn hotel. Plus, police are asking you to be on the
there's the
lookout
bank
for
I
a
was talking
bank
about, or
robbery
what used to be a
suspect
bank.
with a peculiar description. We'll give it to you coming up. I'm meteorologist Bob Knowles. It was a mild day along the south coast. I'll tell you how long it's going to stick around next on Channel 11 News at 11.
The savings and selection are unbeatable.
This was
at
the first
City
commercial that I
Electronics.
filmed
Like
for this video.
Denon compact disc
The
player
first
with
anything I
5-disc
filmed for this
changer
video was
for
this.
$229.99. City Electronics is proud to sell AT&T brand products. And new for $19.90, this AT&T 5400 cordless telephone with 10-channel auto select.
Love
for
the
best
background
clearing.
music for this one
It's
too.
only $159.99.
Sounds like such an
Nobody
electronic
beats
store
the service, savings, and selection
music
of City Electronics
for the time.
The electronic showplace.
especially that
The
part.
South Coast News Station, WSCN 11.
That took a long time. That took a whole day just to do that 10-second graphic.
Women who only married men for their money. Why they did it, how successful they were, and if they do it again. How some women got away with it and some women got found out. Plus, meet the women who married their elderly husbands right before his death, only to reap the benefits. The wives and the husbands join us on the next Andrew Ball Show.
Tomorrow at 4 on
Also love how this
WSCN
bumper
11.
graphic turned out.
Sleep City USA employees can buy a mattress.
This
at
is
an
also
employee
another
discount
video that I did
price. And
in
now, for a
2021.
limited time, you can
It's
too.
really Sleep
Anyone
City,
can save
Sleep
on a
Country
Sealy
USA.
Posturepedic or Simmons Beauty Rest. With the
But the
employee
reason I
discount
changed
sale
it
at
is
Sleep
because
City
I was trying to
but
be
only through Monday night
time
at
period
9.
authentic, and
Employee
Sleep
discount
Country
prices mean
USA
great
I
savings
don't
for
think
you.
was around
now
yet.
At Sleep City USA. Hurry
that's where
in,
that
the
comes
employee
from.
discount sale ends Monday night at 9.
Better known as Sleep Country
Hi, I'm
Canada.
Nicole Lewis from WSCN 11. Make a difference in our community.
I think this is
and
one of
help
my
those in
favorite
need by
commercials
taking
from the
part
whole
in
video.
The drug donation drive on Wednesday, January 24th at the WSCN 11 studios. Drop off
It seems
old
like
or
one of
unwanted
those
drugs at our
station
to be
promotions
donated to
for
those less
community
fortunate
things they
along the
do.
South Coast. Join us on Wednesday, January 24th.
And if you weren't
from 8
listening,
a.m. to 7
you
p.m.
wouldn't.
at the WSCN 11
Like if you weren't
studios,
really paying attention, you
5400
might be
Circle
fooled
11
that like that was
the
something real.
WSCN 11 drug
But there's
donation
a
drive,
slight
making a
comedic
difference in our
undertone.
community.
More ways to save, more reasons to smile. Hy-Vee's the store that fits my style. It's
So that Hy-Vee sign I took a picture of. Story time. When we were going to Kansas City, we were between Des Moines and the Missouri state border, and we needed to use a restroom, so we stopped at this little town out in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, and we were driving into town. They had a super old, really tiny Hy-Vee, and so before we left town, I took a picture of the Hy-Vee and the sign, and so that's what made an appearance.
always low prices and faces I know. That's my Hy-Vee. Shop Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every.
Now the bags came from an estate sale, believe it or not. So the one on the left, I mean, they're both in really good condition, but the one on the left looked unused. And then the one on the right is for Hy-Vee's 60th anniversary, which happened to be in 1990. And so that's was like a sweet find because I was already working on this video. And then I found the whole jingle. Again, one of those things that just kind of molded together by accident. Love when those coincidences happen. So to have a bag actually from 1990, and there's a few other things in this video which I'll point out that had a 1990 date on it specifically, which just again adds to the authenticity of the video and its portrayal of 1990. So I thought that was pretty cool. There was something else I was going to say about the bags, but now I don't remember. Anyway, we'll continue.
Well, after a cool and rainy start to the week, today was a nice change of pace. Yeah, it was a clear and mild day today. That will be sticking around for us, which we'll get into in just a moment. But first, a look at what went on out there today. It was just an absolutely gorgeous day out there.
Backing onto the weather
highs in
screen.
The upper 60s and low 70s.
I will be honest, there
across
was
the board,
absolutely no
68
point
degrees.
in doing
Up
the
in
weather
North Beach, 71 here in the
in this
metro,
video.
69 in Broadlawn.
It was just for
67 in
authenticity
Vista Gardens,
and to
70
take up
degrees
time.
in Coastal Gables and in South Beach.
But I think it's
66
kind of
up
funny
in Fort Lauderdale, 72 in Beachport,
because it adds
71 in Myers,
it adds nothing to the
68
video,
degrees in Bradford
and I think
and
that's kind of
Berkeley,
funny in
and
and
our
of
friends
itself.
in Parkview came in at 69 degrees.
Now somebody
today.
commented,
Temperatures out there right now in the upper
not Bob
50s and
reading
low
off
60s,
every
62
temperature on the
here in
screen. Well, the
metro,
reason I did
60
that is
degrees in
because
North Beach, 61
I
in
was
Coastal
watching
Gables
other
and in Broadlawn.
weather casts at the
63
time,
degrees rather in Vista Gardens and in South
and
Beach.
this was
59
before,
up in Fort
now
Lauderdale, 62
on the
down
screen
in
the
Beachport
temperature
and
goes with the
Myers,
city
60
name.
degrees in Bradford,
Well, at this time,
58 in Parkview, and
the city
55
name wasn't on there.
degrees up
So you'd
in
have to go
Berkeley.
through all the
Tonight,
temperatures
lows
to
here in
list the
Duke
cities.
County near 50 degrees, 53 degrees in Bradford County.
Inland lows near 50 degrees tonight and 48 up in Fort Lauderdale. Tomorrow, highs will be near 72 degrees here in the metro, 74 in Bradford
The weather
County,
map I made,
71 degrees inland, and 69
in
degrees
Photoshop.
off to the north. As
Added
we
a little
look at our radar,
3D
things
to
are
it.
calm and clear across the region. That will continue through tonight. We could see some passing clouds off to the northwest.
Coastline and the lake and
move through for the most of us by the morning
county
hours,
borders,
but we could see
I made
some
all that.
lingering clouds for those of you more inland. Tonight in the metro, clear and cool, lows around 50 degrees. In Bradford, lows tonight around 53 degrees. Breezy and cool along the beaches tonight, lows near 52, and inland lows tonight around 50, clear and cool. Those winds will change direction for us tomorrow coming out of the south, which will drive our highs 72.
So the way I did this was I had my laptop set up off the green screen, had my Bluetooth clicker, but then I was holding a wire because they weren't wireless yet at the time, the little weather clicker. So I'm clicking through PowerPoint slides on my computer, reading those off, but it's, you know, in post-edit, making it look like I'm clicking through the different graphics on the green screen.
Degrees and clear and mild in the metro, 74 and clear in Bradford, sunny and warm along the beaches with highs around 75 degrees, and inland highs tomorrow around 71. Those lingering clouds could create some partly cloudy skies more inland. Boating weather tomorrow, winds south to southeast at 5 to 10 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet, bay waters at a light chop. The next low tide at 1:48 in the morning, high tide at 8:15 in the morning. The sun will come up at 7:04 and sunset at 5:41 tomorrow evening. Just another beautiful day tomorrow, which will continue through the weekend. Well, great. We'd love to have it. Thanks, Bob. Next at 11, it's being described as one of the largest drug busts so far this year. Channel 11's Alex Dawson is in Broadlawn with more. Plus, a credit union in Fort Lauderdale robbed this evening. We have the description of the suspect police want your help locating. Next on Channel 11 News at 11.
I was kind of disappointed in how this came out in editing after the retro effects. You can see it better on a TV than you can on a computer screen or a phone, but there was traffic moving in the background of that. It was too dark to see.
Whatever you do, wherever you go, well, I'll be there to guard you, to care for you.
Nothing.
So I wasn't sure if people picked up on this. So a lot of these commercials, even if I'm using the actual audio from the real commercial like I am for this, I'm writing a story still that the commercial is telling. So this one is a kid that's graduated from school and he's off to be a doctor, and while he's packing up his things, his mom is saying, don't forget your Band-Aids, which is kind of a double entendre, right? Because he's going to be a doctor, but also moms are looking out for their children.
Sticks like Band-Aid
So it's kind of funny. Then you have that cheesy.
Protects better against dirt and germs. That's protection that sticks with you.
Oh, wait, let's back up. Okay, so this, the one on the left, I actually have. That's real. The one on the right, I covered up plastic, where it says plastic, and I made it say sheer, so that it looked like there were two boxes. I mean, there are two boxes. I filmed one box here, filmed the other box here, put the two clips together, then covered up the plastic on the box on the right, and made it say sheer. Match the font. Pretty proud of that one too. See, little itty bitty knick-knacky details.
That's protection that sticks with you.
No matter how old they get.
No matter how old they get.
Johnson & Johnson.
And there's another product. Copyright Johnson & Johnson 1990.
Are you or someone you love aged 50 to 80? Listen for important information regarding Pilgrimage Con's $6.95 plan. A life insurance
this is
policy
kinda
through
supposed to be
Pilgrimage
like,
Con is designed specifically for men
McMahon's commercials.
and women aged 50 to 80.
When he would do a life insurance
with no
company
physical
that
examinations
shall
or medical
remain nameless.
questions. You cannot be turned down for any reason. With Pilgrimage Con 695 plan, you pay just $6.95 a month. Your benefits never change, and your rates never go up.
So the background is a real house. But in the actual Ed McMahon commercials, he's standing in front of like a painting almost of a neighborhood. Well, when I put the picture of the house in the background, I thought, this looks too odd. So I added this effect that makes it look like paintbrush strokes. And I think that like really softened the background. So some of these things may not seem like a really big deal, but in the end, it like really adds to the aesthetics of the video.
I'm 75 years old and on medication. What's my price? Just $6.95 a month. If you want the bare minimum of life insurance.
I just turned 60. Will my benefits and protection be reduced little by little every year?
No, your benefits never change. Just don't die within the first 2 years.
I'm 67 years old with no teeth. Can I be turned down?
No one aged 50 to 80 can be turned down, regardless of health. Take a bite out of that.
Also, another underrated line in this video. Nobody made a comment about that, and people I showed that, watch this video with me in person, nobody thought that line was funny. I thought that line was hilarious. You're talking about a lady with no teeth, and then you say, take a bite out of that?
With Pilgrimage Con, your premium never increases, and your benefits won't decrease over time. If you're aged 50 to 80, you simply can't be turned down. For more information, call now.
Accidental
call
death.
Toll-free 1-800-555.
Also note we put the con in life insurance.
2666 for free information about Pilgrimage Con 695 plan and receive this handy guide to life insurance absolutely free. That's 1-800-555-2666.
Hello, Pilgrimage Con.
Call now, 1-800-555-2666 for free information and this free book. 1-800-555-2666. This Sunday on Face to Face, Senator Dick Johnson of Alabama talks violence in video games and the new bill he's introducing to help curb it. Washington insider Anita Life talks about the latest scandal to involve another congressman, a waitress, and a can of hairspray. And the chairman of
also
the Federal
another line
Trade
that I thought was
Commission
funny
on holding
because it was
powerful
just
tech companies accountable.
stupid.
Kind of. Sunday on Face to Face. It's being described as one of the largest drug busts so far this year. Police raiding a former hotel in Broadlawn, finding hundreds of pounds of cocaine. Channel 11's Alex Dawson has more from Broadlawn. Metro Dude police have been here at this former hotel on 76th Street for much of the day, seizing nearly 350.
So this was something I did on a lot of videos. I made a light, looked like a light on a camera. And then a lot of the videos, I added some effects and changed the color and the shutter and a few other things to make it look darker or nighttime or evening or whatever.
Pounds of cocaine. According to police, a months-long investigation led to today's search and seizure of the property. Police arresting 4 individuals this evening, a 36-year-old white male, a 42-year-old white male, a 35-year-old Hispanic male, and a 22-year-old Hispanic male. Police have not yet released the identities of these 4 men. The motel opened as a Nights Inn and night.
This is the only B-roll footage in this video that I did not get. This came from a stock footage website that I belong to. And that happened after the hotel that I was going to use in person was torn down. But thankfully, this was still era appropriate because it looks like it's a hotel that was built in the late 60s, a motel built in the late 60s. And then I took a still from one of the videos, and that's what I used for the background when the reporter is talking.
1968 before closing in 1986. It reopened for a short time as a privately owned motel before closing once more in 1988. According to tax documents obtained by Channel 11 from the Dude County Assessor's Office, the property...
I made the sound effects in this one a little quieter because you have an abandoned motel that probably sits off the road a little bit, and so you hear a little bit of traffic from a distant roadway or highway in the background. But then I added more crickets to this because you'd have to think that the area around it has not been well maintained.
Was sold to a Joseph Gonzalez in 1988. It's unclear if he has any connection to the drug operation that was occurring on his property. Charges are pending for the 4 men arrested today, but police say they will remain in county lockup until those charges are filed. In Broadlawn, Alex Dawson, Channel 11 News. We are working to learn more about this massive drug bust in Broadlawn, as well as the identities of the 4 men arrested today. Brent? Police are searching for a suspect they say robbed a credit union in Fort Lauderdale this evening. It happened at the First Federal Credit Union on Hayward
I think that building
Road
is so
just
cool.
before it closed at 5. The suspect walked
I
into
saw
the
it one day
lobby
and I'm
and
like,
handed the teller a note
that
saying that he
totally
had a
looks like
weapon,
a bank.
but did not actually show it. The suspect is described as a white male, 5'8", wearing a wig and women's clothing. Anyone with information is asked to call Fort
That's me,
Lauderdale
by the way.
Police. Well, that individual shouldn't be too hard to locate.
Joke, right?
The Beachport.
Because Caroline is me, a white male, 5'8", dressed in women's clothing and a wig, and she's saying, oh, well, that individual shouldn't be too hard to find. Another underrated line in this video.
Community is reeling after the loss of an icon. Drunkard Dave died at 67 years old today after succumbing to his failing liver. Dave was a regular
Now,
at Tipsy Pins.
This, okay, so I took an image of, I think, a department store, made it dark, then I found an outline of a bowling pin, put 3 on there because it's called Tipsy Pins, like they're falling over, and then I lit each one up like it was a neon sign, and then also put the Tipsy Pins on there like it was neon. That, maybe not the best work compared to somebody that does this regularly or professionally or full-time, but I think I did a pretty good job with
nights drinking his life away,
making
which
it look
later
like
led
it's
to his liver
neon.
problems. Dave was jobless, divorced, and has not spoken to his...
Now this picture, this is like Inception, okay? So I took a picture of me in front of the green screen with the beer looking drunk, put it on my computer, took out the green screen, put in the picture of the bar, printed that out, put it in a picture frame, took video of that. Now you could say, well, why wouldn't you have just put the picture on the screen? Well, I figured it would be less likely for a TV station or news station to put a picture like that on the screen of somebody that is not super prominent, although I was trying to make it look like he was a prominent figure, right? Even though he's a drunkard. I don't know. I just thought it would make more sense, like they were at the bar and getting B-roll picture and got one of this frame of Drunker Dave at the bar.
Children in 12 years. The bowling alley says an all-you-can-drink special will be held Saturday night to honor Dave. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You'll feel better when you see them grow. Take the time to give and care for kids' sake.
No purpose to that. Just love the jingle.
On the next Oprah Winfrey show, imagine the difficult realities of people once wealthy
who lost everything and are now facing financial burdens. The men and women who had it all and now have close to nothing. I used to be able to afford anything I could possibly imagine, and now I only own the car that I already bought, and the house that I already paid for, and the clothes I already have. It's very difficult. For my 40th birthday, I went and bought a new sports car, and now I can't even afford a new pair of shoes.
Can we just say how good the crying voice was on that? I don't know, but I thought that was pretty good.
Riches to rags on the next Oprah Windfire Show. Tomorrow at 3 on WSCN
Also another favorite
11.
commercial of mine from this video.
This week at
This is
Eagle,
the only
6-ounce
commercial
Jello
that I
gelatin desserts
reused,
in a
one that I
variety
already
of
made or that
flavors
I
are
didn't
just
make
65 cents.
special for this video. This was the video that I put out
26-ounce canister
in
of Folgers coffee for just
August, I think,
$2.99.
whenever I got my hard drive back. This was a video that I was working on,
any size
but my hard drive failed.
spices. Now,
So I thought after all this,
Eagle,
I deserved to be able to reuse it, and it's time period appropriate.
The $1 Million Wheel, weeknights at 7 on WSCN 11.
Now this was one of those mistakes I was talking about that I did on purpose, making it look like somebody forgot to change the tape.
When you
And
want
there
the
was
latest
just dead air.
information in crime, drugs, and violence in our community, and what local officials are doing to combat this epidemic, turn to Patrick O'Connell, Metro Dude's only reporter dedicated to covering crime. Crime Watch with Patrick O'Connell, weeknights on the South Coast News Station, WSCN 11.
Love how my voice sounds in that commercial. I did the voice, the voiceover for that on a day I came home from work, and I wasn't feeling bad, but I had done a lot of talking that day because it was really busy, and my voice was kind of gravelly and really low. I'm like, I have to take advantage of this for the Crime Watch commercial that I want to do. I've not been able to mimic that since, because a lot of times when I make my voice sound deep, it sounds forced, but that sounded so good. Wish I could come more naturally to me.
We have a quick update on a story we brought to you at the top of the hour, the bowling bandit. Channel 11 has obtained the mugshot of Willie Reston.
I wish this picture would have turned out better. So we have this sign that is really supposed to be for like showing specials at a restaurant. But I thought, oh, well, we've got all the letters to put in there. I'll make it look like it's the thing you hold when you're having your mugshot taken. Well, when I put the effects on it, it really blurred out the letters on the board. This was the only thing in the whole video that really narrowed down the date of this video to a specific day, which is Thursday, January 18th, 1990. The only other thing that really gives you inclination of it being in January 1990 is that drug donation drive video or commercial, because I put the date of that in there. So I was kind of disappointed that it blurred out the letters too much. Also, when you put last name, first name, his name is Reston Willie, and I just thought that was funny. Purposeful.
The man police arrested this evening, who is believed to be the bowling bandit. As Patrick O'Connell told us earlier, the suspect was identified by one of the bowling bandit's latest victims. We are still working to find out what he has been charged with, but we hope to have more for you tomorrow on Channel 11 News this morning. That does it for us tonight at 11. Thank you for joining us. Your next news is tomorrow morning from 5 to 7. I'm Caroline Murphy. And I'm Brent Fisher. From all of us at Channel 11, good night. Good night.
Love this. All the slow motion, and I really messed with the color and the black and white on this. So that's the whole video with all of the details and Easter eggs, things in the background you may have missed, as well as behind the scenes stuff about what went into making this project. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this together. I've never done something like this before, but then again, I have never had such a large project that has been packed with so many details like this video. I just want to thank you all once more for the love and support and response to this video. It has truly been amazing. You guys are the reason why I make content, and I'm very thankful for you. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Consider subscribing to any tier on the Patreon if you are able to. There's some cool perks and extra exclusive content that I release on Patreon. All of my Patreon members had a character named after them in this video. They were also all listed as associate producers in the credits of the video, and then they are always listed in the end screen on YouTube at the end of the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.